Let's go, Walker Howard to TC. Wait, no. Wait, he didn't go to TCU. Why? Why wouldn't you go to TCU, where there is a wide open chasm that they have at quarterback? But no, Walker Howard didn't go there. Well, you know what else is very interesting is Billy Napier of the Florida Gators, who knows the Lafayette region, visited Walker Howard in Lafayette, and he also has a huge chasm. Graham Mertz is their best quarterback option right now, and, well, Gainesville didn't work out. So where did Walker Howard decide to go? Oh, yeah, to a school where he is in the exact same position that he is in now with LSU, especially if one big story actually does happen. Now, what I'm going to be honest with you about today is my evaluation of Walker Howard remains the same. I had a really good one of him coming out of high school at St. Thomas More. And look, I know people that know Walker, right? I know people that have gone to each and every one of his high school games, and this obviously is a sour subject for a lot of our Lafayette region. And look, some of my most loyal, best viewers are in the 337. I know you feel some type of way about him never actually getting his shot to play at LSU, but I do question his judgment. Now, as many of you know, I am a huge fan of Lane Kiffin. He is one of my favorite coaches in all of college football, and I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you leading into the LSU head coaching search that I think Lane Kiffin would be a very good option for LSU. Now, obviously Brian Kelly is better, and he showed that this first year, but I get why quarterbacks would want to go playing for Lane. And, of course, Walker Howard was a part of the recruiting process with Ole Miss, even when he was committed to LSU. I don't remember if he actually did end up making that visit to Oxford or not, but there was ties to his love for Oxford, right? So, yes, it does seem like a good fit if you're a big-time quarterback and you want to put up big-time numbers. And Walker Howard fits the mold of a Matt Corral, not the absolute biggest, not the absolute fastest, not the absolute strongest arm, but a guy that is good at pretty much everything. So, yeah, I see why it made sense. But what I don't get is the path to playing time. I obviously am sad about this. I would have loved to have seen Walker Howard waited itself out. But my main point today is there is a major wild card in this whole quarterback search for Ole Miss, in that Spencer Sanders is also heavily rumored to be interested in transferring to Ole Miss. And if Spencer Sanders, who I think is a very good quarterback, goes to Ole Miss, I think he will be the starter. And keep in mind, Jackson Dart isn't going anywhere. So if Spencer Sanders does indeed commit to Ole Miss, well, Walker Howard is going to be in the same exact position he is in right now at LSU, or he was at LSU, that he is now with Ole Miss, where he is the clear-cut number 3 guy. Now, of course, he can go in and light it up, and Lane might think Walker is better than the other two. It does come down to his decision-making, and Lane might want to get a younger quarterback in there because Spencer Sanders would be a one-year rental. But the truth here is this is just bizarre, this decision to go to Ole Miss when there were other options out there where he would have been in a position to get more immediate playing time. I understand TCU had the Garrett Riley thing happen, but they now have their OC, and honestly, Walker would have been a good fit in what Kendall Browse would want to have done with Walker. And obviously Florida, I think, with Billy Napier, I love Billy Napier's offense. I like Florida's yard per play numbers last year with Anthony Richardson, and I think that would have been a good fit as well. But the path to playing time at Ole Miss is about the same here at LSU, and I think he would have gone somewhere where, at the very least, he would have had a legitimate shot to play. Now, he might have a better shot. Lane might have made him some promise, said, hey, we want you to be the starter, and if that's the case, then all the power to Walker Howard. I just don't get this logic at all. But we shall see what happens. The bottom line is he is gone to an SEC West rival, a team that we must play each and every season, and this is where it gets kind of complicated if you're an LSU fan. Boom! I'm looking at you, yes, you, right now. So, as you can see, I switch hats to the PHL hat, and we're almost sold out. Get them now, and don't forget, if you go to PowerHourLSU.com and get over $60 in merch, I'm going to send you my favorite Joe Burrow card. It's a very simple rookie card. I just love this card so much. And I'll send you an autograph of, I think I have a Kardell Thomas autograph. Gone but not forgotten. Why not? I'll give you a few Kardell thoughts in just a second. So, how should we take this? I understand as an LSU fan, and especially if you are from the 337, this really does stink. But, I saw so many people saying, well, what's the difference between this and Eli Ricks? I think there is a difference. Obviously, quarterback, it's either you're playing or you're not. At corner, it's easier to get on the field, and Eli Ricks was a starter. And, of course, he went to a rival school. So I do think it's a little bit different. But the bottom line is you did go to a rival school after only being here 1 year. And if you really loved LSU, I think you would have given it just one more year. But obviously, the writing could have been on the wall for Walker Howard. Maybe Garrett Nussmeier and Jayden Daniels were outperforming him so badly in practice that he saw that Garrett was going to be the guy in 2024 and wanted to go somewhere else. Maybe there were some promises that were given to Walker Howard as far as being at least the number 2 guy going into this year. And, of course, Jayden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier. I think if you are a betting man or woman last offseason and you were to have to bet your life savings that Garrett Nussmeier and Jayden Daniels would be back with LSU next year, you probably would not have bet that. You would have thought at least one, if not both of them, would have already been gone by now, and Walker probably factored that in as well. But I know it stinks that, obviously we never got to see him and Jack Besh play together, and they were so good together at St. Thomas More, and then Walker Howard, after Jack Besh left, was even more tantalizing. I have never seen a high school quarterback from the state of Louisiana play a game quite like the one he had versus Neville last year, which was simply sensational. And look, I loved watching him. I loved evaluating him. But he is now Tiger bait, and that's the thing, right? I don't dislike Walker Howard at all. But you did go to Ole Miss. It is an SEC West rival, and I know as an LSU fan, it's tough, but for me, I'm always a fan of the school over any certain player, and if you're going to go to an SEC West rival, it's kind of hard for me to, still, of course, be a fan for you. Now, the truth is I want every single player to live out his dream and play wherever they want to play. I'm all for the transfer portal. I think it actually is a net positive with obviously some negatives, but at the same time, I do think this is a very interesting dilemma here for Walker moving forward. What in the world is going to happen now that he is gone? Well, nothing, right? He would have had to beat out Garrett Nussmeier next year for 2024, but he was never really going to see the field unless Jayden or Garrett got hurt this next year. So, it doesn't make a lot of sense, as we've already stated, to go to Ole Miss, but maybe a fresh start was something that he wanted. Keep in mind, Ole Miss was a school he was interested in even when he was committed to LSU, and playing for Lane Kiffin is something that excites a lot of people. And look, we've done a film study where LSU, towards the end of last year, started running some carbon copy plays from the Lane Kiffin playbook. I'll, in fact, link that video in the top right corner of your screen right there. I think you'd be interested in it. And you could go back and look at all the gazillion Walker Howard film studies we've done on here. So, yeah, personally, someone that poured so much time into studying his career and never actually getting to see it, along with LSU fans, obviously the legacy of Jamie Howard from his time at LSU, it would have been really cool to see it, especially if you're one of our older viewers. But that's the beauty of sports. Not everything has a storybook ending. So, personally, Walker, I'm happy for players to do whatever they want to do, but he went to a rival school, and if he were to actually live up to the expectations, the LSU and Ole Miss battles would be very, very, very close. So, comment down below your thoughts as we turn the page here. Few thoughts on Kardell at the end of the video. Kardell Thomas, of course, also in the transfer portal. We'll talk more about that on the Thursday night live stream. But, once again, high top 100 4-star recruits, kind of like Walker Howard, they sometimes just don't pan out. And this was one, obviously, at the offensive line position. And Mr. Pancake was the most viral offensive lineman ever. And I'm serious. Any offensive line recruit, he was the most viral. And, I don't know I don't know where he's going to go next, but I wish Kardell nothing but the best. Now, comment down below, and yeah, this was fun. Let's do it. Let's go. And I already know what the comments are going to say. You did this video because you have sour grapes. I don't have sour grapes. I don't. It's just logically, if he would have gone to TCU, makes a lot of sense. If he would have gone to Florida, makes a lot of sense. QBs want to go play. This one, if you want to play next year, is interesting. It is Power Hour SEC. Bam! I said SEC. LSU. Bam! If you want to see the Power Hour SEC channel, go check it out. And tonight, we are doing BBQ. Let's go!